Hello, what's going on, everyone? So I just wanted to speak briefly. Thank you to Cecilia for this opportunity and to all the awesome people out here. As she said, I'm from Houston, Texas, and I've been traveling for the past almost a month now, documenting activist communities, farms, community gardens, great people like yourselves who are doing things, focusing on solutions and showing people that activism is not just about the negative in the world. It's not just about fighting the cops or the oppression, that there are solutions happening today. And that's what I'd like to talk briefly about, how despite what some of us believe, the solutions are not going to be found in government. Now, back in Houston, the way I try to fight against GMOs or against pesticides and industrial farming, I have an agorist business, which means that I don't have any kind of license. I don't have any kind of paperwork. I just started a business with a few friends of mine. We install gardens. We sell seeds, all non-GMO. We build greenhouses. We've built above-ground gardens, all kinds of things. And verbal agreements between me and people in the community. They say they'd like a garden. We come to their house. We build the garden. We sell them some seeds. They barter with us, silver, Bitcoin, cash, whatever it is. And there you go. That's how we beat Monsanto. That's what I try to encourage, because while I wouldn't necessarily vote against or publicly voice my opposition to a GMO labeling bill in Texas or a GMO ban in Texas or even Houston on a local level, I wouldn't vote for it, because I believe it's immoral for me to force you guys and those who support GMOs for whatever reason to have their diet changed based on my opinion. Now, I'm not sure if that makes sense to you, but essentially the government is force. Using the government is force, and we're forcing others, for whatever reason, that want to eat genetically modified food or eat poison or eat McDonald's and eat all these kind of things that we know to be bad for our health. We're forcing them because we think we know what's best for them. That's what it's essentially saying. But what I'm trying to achieve is a change that comes from each person's conscience and from within themselves, to realize, you know what, I'm a free, independent, beautiful human being, and I deserve good food. I deserve a community of people who come together to grow food. I deserve to know what's in my food, and I'm going to support businesses who do that. I'm going to support restaurants who voluntarily label their food, who voluntarily remove genetically modified foods from their products. I'm going to support businesses that don't sell these products. So that's the way I believe we're going to affect change, and that's not to say anything against anyone who's gathering petitions, because like I said, do whatever you think is going to affect change the most for you and your paradigm. I think that all forms of fighting are appropriate. Marching. Some people say marching is pointless. Just yesterday, somebody told me, go waste your time, wave around signs with people, go hit the streets. And I told them, have fun at home behind your computer then, and see how much change you do there. I think it's important for us to hit the streets. It's important for us to talk to people, to do interviews. I'm traveling the nation, interviewing all kinds of people and asking them, what does freedom mean to you? Why are you marching against Monsanto? Just to get a consensus, an idea of what we as human beings, dynamic human beings, we're all different. We all come from different backgrounds, and we have different ideas on how to achieve change. But it's important for us to respect each other's ideas, but at the same time, not force our ideas on each other, which essentially, when you're asking the government by petition, for one, you're coming to the government, which many people have already said, the government's infested with Monsanto, and the genetically modified issue is just one aspect of that. I mean, we can go into oil, we can go into energy, we can go into the war, profiteering. The government has failed you. I'm sorry to break it to you, but the government has failed you, and I'm going to assume that out here, your government's just as corrupt as the one in Houston, and the one in Los Angeles that I visited the other day, and the one in Sedona, and Chula Vista, San Diego, all these governments, everywhere I go, and people are talking about how corrupt their government is, but I also see amazing, beautiful people creating solutions outside of the government. We were just in Vegas the other day. Vegas, which is known for what? Gambling, consumerism, money. It's not known to be the most conscious, aware place in the world, is it? I mean, that's not really what you think about. But I found a community of people who are gathered around a center called Reclaimed Arts Community Center, and it's all about recycling art supplies, bringing it back together, but it's also giving people a place where they can come and express their ideas, no matter how crazy they are, whether it's about geoengineering, chemtrails, or genetically modified foods, or the government, conspiring against their own people, or the radical idea that each of us are free and don't need a government to tell us what to do. There are places and spaces where we can express these ideas. So my point in speaking to you today is only to hope to inspire you guys to look past government as the answer. Now again, if you can, on a local level, if you can get your city council to, put a moratorium on genetically modified food until there's more evidence or, labeling, then by all means, if that's your method, do it. But I just ask you to take a moment and to think if that's really the method we want to choose and how that's going to look in the long term. Look at the place we are now and how we got here. And I think that if you stop and think long enough, you might recognize that using the government as force is what got us in this position. People think that, and the people in power think that they want to hold us to some certain moral standard, and they force that on us, and often we find out through their various scandals that they're not even holding themselves to those standards. They just want to parade around as if they're people of value and of some high morale, and the people that they're supposedly ruling, because make no mistake, they're not ruling you. You are a free person. Woo! You are a free person. Repeat that to yourself. I'm a free person.
I'm a free person.
Thank you. You are a free person, and you're as free as you want to be. Ultimately, that freedom starts in the mind, and that's what I'm realizing more and more. Every single day I'm on the road, when I meet you great people, when I talk to somebody else and I hear their ideas, it encourages me to keep going, keep finding new people. And I believe by building these networks and building these bridges, this is how we're going to achieve change. So I want you guys to know that you're not alone out here, that in California, in Texas, in New Mexico, in Denmark, in Australia, in Germany, and all over the world, there are people just like us fighting for change, and we're trying to do that as good as we can. So please continue to do that, but just maybe think, maybe there's a better way to do this without asking the government, because free people don't ask for permission to be free. We do it. So remember, the revolution is growing and resistance is fertile. Thank you.